we are going to do our reading lesson for today for Reader's Workshop. Before I get started, we need to go over a couple of expectations that we talked about in earlier lessons. Who can tell me, when you are on the carpet, what types of things or what should you look like and what should it sound like? Ashton.
It should sound quiet.
Okay, it should sound quiet, which you guys are doing a good job at.
It looked like this book. It looked like y'all supposed to be ready in position.
Oh, I like that. He said you're supposed to be ready, in position, and look like you're ready to learn. So what does that look like? What do we need to make sure we are doing, AJ? Sitting up straight. Jacob. Crisscross. Check and see. Am I crisscross? Brandon, are we crisscross? Michael, thank you for getting crisscross. Mason, thank you for getting crisscross. And if you have a skirt or a dress on, that's fine. Which way should you be facing?
Forward.
Yes, ma'am. This way. So if you could turn your body and make sure that you are facing this way so that everybody is showing me that they're ready to learn. And before we get started, what should I be doing with my notebook and my pencil that I brought with me? Put it in front of you or beside you so that you are not distracted, Brandon. Thank you for getting that. And put it right beside your notebook. Nothing in our hands so that we're not distracted to play with that while we're reading. Malaysia, good job. I like how you have nothing in your hands. Thank you so much. Layla, good job. Jalen, awesome. Okay, so it looks like we're ready to start now. Today we are going to practice picking just right books when we are reading during Reader's Workshop. So before we get started, let's talk about what types of things we use when we're picking a book. So you're going to the library or you're going to go over here to My Books. What are you going to look at and see when you pick up a book and decide if you're going to take it or not? What helps you decide that? And there's no right or wrong answer. It's just what you use. Haley. The front cover. Anybody have another one? Ashton. The title. So I pick up a book, I'm looking at the front cover, I'm looking at the title. What else do I do before I go check this out?
Look inside of it. See you can read it.
Okay, I'm going to look inside of it and see if I can read it. All right, thank you, boys and girls, for sitting quietly and being respectful to others as they're talking. Look inside. When I look inside, what am I going to be looking at? What are you looking for when you look inside your book? Anybody have something in particular? You like to see if there's a table of contents in yours? Okay. What else are you looking for if you're inside a book? Ooh, the author. So you might have a favorite author that you look for. What else? These are great. Anybody have any others? AJ.
Stuff that you like.
Okay, like what do you like?
Me?
Yeah.
I know what I like loud stuff.
Loud stuff?
A lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff. Give me one thing. What types of books do you like? Books about... I read some of your survey. About what? Superheroes. So he said, I'm going to look for something that I'm interested in. So, does anybody look and see if there's any pictures in there?
Yeah.
All right. You might look for pictures.
My favorite thing is
Thank you for raising your hand. Remember, Damari, what do we do if we have something to say? All right, so raise your hand. Damari. Marshmallows. Oh, I see what you're looking at. Okay, so you might look at the pictures. Does anybody look at how many words there are?
Yeah.
Nobody looks at how many words there are? Jalen does? How many words? So there are lots of... Okay, I'm going to stop right here. before we can go any further in our Reader's Workshop, we need to make sure we remember what those behavior expectations were. So anything in our hands, we put on the floor. And we make sure if we have something to say. What are we doing, Camden, if you have something to say? Raising our hand. And if a friend says something, are we going to be laughing and giggling at them if it's not supposed to be funny? No. We're going to make sure that we're showing respect to other people, okay? So please keep that in mind. So there are lots of reasons why you might choose books. So today we're going to look at choosing a book that might be too easy for us, just right, or too big for us, too hard for us. And everybody's book is different. So what's easy to you might be harder for him. What's hard for you might be easy for him. So everybody's just right book is different. So I'm going to see, and I want you to help me, if you can figure out which of these three books is a just right book for me. So I went to the library, and I went to the classroom library, and I picked out a couple of books, and I'm interested in reading these books because I looked at the cover and the title, I really like them. So I want to read all of them, but only one of them is just right for me. The other ones might be too easy, too hard, and I need to figure out which one of these is just right for me to read. Okay? Just like you're going to have to figure out what book is just right for you to read. So let's look at the too easy. What is this? Too easy. The too easy is I can breeze right through it. I know all these words, no problem. This is way easy. I feel I'm not confused at all. I know everything that's going on. I totally understand the story. Sometimes when I'm reading it, I get bored because it's so easy. I'm bored at it, Jalen. Fix your shirt. I've read this book so many times. I've read it over and over and over again. I could tell you what the whole book is about without even looking at any parts of the book. Chris Crossley. I understand this book without having to think. When I'm reading it, I don't have to think hard. I'm not challenging myself. This is way easy. And I know every single word that's in that book. If that's the case, the book might be too easy for you. Just right. This book is new to me. I've never read it before. Never read the book before. I understand most of it. There are a few parts and a few words that I might need to look up or ask about, but most of the words I know, except for a few, Mason. I can read most of the words. I can retell to you or a friend or mom and dad what's happening in the story. When someone asks me, I can pretty much tell them what's going on. And the topic I love. It's so interesting to me. I love, love, love this book. I never get bored when I'm reading. So that's too easy. That's just right. And what's the last one?
Too hard.
Too hard. So sometimes I really, really want to read it because the cover looks really, really, really cool. But I get stuck on a lot, Ashton, of the words. I get stuck on a lot of the words. I know I haven't seen this book before, and I haven't seen some of the words that are inside this book, and it's just confusing sometimes. I get frustrated when I'm reading it because I can't understand what's going on, Brandon. I have a hard time remembering what actually happened on that page. When I get to the bottom, I say, what was going on? What? And you got to go back over and read it again, and you still don't know what's going on. Or when you read it out loud, it just sounds choppy and funny, and it's not very fluent. So that might be a too hard book, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to find a just right book for you. So I'm going to give everybody a sheet, and this is for finding just right books. Remember, you have to give some kind of evidence that you actually were reading during Reader's Workshop. You can't just go and read for fun and enjoyment. During Reader's Workshop, it's going to be fun and enjoyment, but also giving evidence that I actually read. So what I want you to do is I want you, when I give this to you, who thinks that they can do what they're supposed to? Let's see. Jalen, when I give that to you, what are you going to do with it? set it right down on your notebook. Perfect. Look, he's not messing with it. He's not hitting his friends with it. He's not throwing it. He set it down, and he's not even touching it anymore. So, perfect model there, Jalen. Let's see if other people can do it too. Ooh, Janiyah. Let me see if you can do it just as good as Jalen. Yep, the girls are doing pretty good. Let's see if the boys. Let's see how good the boys put it down and make sure they're not touching it. Let's see, Michael. Good. All right, Mason, I want you to model for the people back here because they might not have seen. Here you go, Ashton. I love how, as I'm passing this out, you guys are being seated. No one's getting up and walking around. Nobody's flirting out and talking. And everybody is following expectations. Take your pencil and write your name at the top of the paper. Here is my paper that I'm going to do. Take your name and write your name at the top of the paper. Brandon, I like how you're writing your name. And I'm going to write Miss Powell at the top. Who can read the focus goal? AJ, nice hand. Let's listen while AJ reads.
I can pick books that are just right for me using specific guidelines
Good
to
job.
help you.
Okay, check off the chart below as you pick 3 to 4 just right books from your classroom library. What 4 things am I going to fill out for each book? Ashton, what do I put in the first column? Book title. What do I put next, Michael? 5. Good. 5-finger rule, check. What comes after the 5-finger rule? I'm interested. And the last thing is I understand. So I'm going to model for you how you are supposed to do it. And when we get done, you're going to go back to your seat and you're going to do exactly what I did right now. So you got to make sure you're paying attention, you're focused, so that in a minute when I let you go back and read, you will know what to fill out and bring back to the carpet to share with your friends. Okay? So I'm going to pick, pencils down, pencils down. Right now I'm just going to model what to do. So your books are not going to be the books that I picked because this was interesting to me. And what's interesting to me might not be interesting to you guys. So I go over to my table and I picked a book out. This was the first one. I love Dora Explorer. I love the picture, stuck trunk. I love that name. It sounds funny. It might be interesting, so I picked this book. So I'm going to see if this book is too easy, just right, or too hard. So first I'm going to write down the title. Now remember, you're not writing anything. You're just watching me do my work so that you know how to do it. So I write the title. Stuck truck. Now, there's something in here called the 5-finger rule check. And I'm going to teach you the 5-finger rule. Show me 5 fingers. I think everybody in here has 5 fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brandon, show me your 5 fingers. Perfect. All right, fingers down. Oh, let's try it again. Show me your 5 fingers. Let's see how fast you can do it. All right, fingers down. Oh, AJ was pretty fast. All right. When you're reading, anytime you come across a word that you don't know, I want you to put up a finger. And you come across another word you don't know, you put up another finger. And another word, you put it, right? You get it? Every time you come across a word you don't know. When you get to 5, and you haven't even turned the page yet,